The sleek, silver spacecraft cut through the atmosphere with a whir of advanced propulsion systems. Its hull gleamed under the early morning sun, casting an eerie reflection over the sprawling city below. Captain Zyler of the Euraxian Hunting Guild peered through the reinforced glass of the command bridge, his mandibles twitching in anticipation. His squad of elite hunters, clad in sophisticated armor, gathered around him, their eyes glinting with the thrill of the hunt. "Prepare for landing," Zyler commanded, his voice a deep rumble that resonated through the chamber. His second-in-command, Lieutenant Cree, adjusted the ship's controls with practiced precision. The data indicated minimal resistance. "We'll have this planet subdued in no time." The ship descended silently, its landing gear extending with a soft hiss. As the vessel touched down in a remote forest clearing, the hunters disembarked, their heavy boots crunching on the undergrowth. The trees loomed like silent sentinels, casting long shadows over the clearing. Zyler's gaze swept over his team. "Stay alert. We're dealing with primitive creatures. They won't pose a challenge, but their environment might." The hunters fanned out, scanning the dense foliage. A faint crackle came through the communication device in Zyler's helmet. "Captain, we've detected some kind of energy signal. It's weak, but it's there." "Roger that," Zyler replied, his mandibles clenching in thought. "Proceed with caution." Suddenly, a sharp, metallic sound shattered the calm. Zyler's head snapped toward the source. Through the trees, a human military convoy emerged, its vehicles glinting in the morning light. The convoy's occupants seemed calm, unperturbed by the alien presence. Zyler's eyes narrowed. "Those are Earth's defenders? They're armed, but their technology appears rudimentary." As the aliens watched, the convoy came to a halt. A human soldier, Sergeant Jake Thompson, stepped out of the lead vehicle. He scanned the surroundings with practiced ease, his gaze meeting the shimmering outline of the alien ship. "Captain, we've got company," Thompson said into his radio, his voice steady despite the unusual sight. "Prepare for engagement." A low, almost imperceptible hum filled the air as the humans readied their weapons. Zyler observed with a mixture of curiosity and disdain. The aliens had expected a swift conquest, not a prepared defense. "Let's see what they're made of," Zyler said, signaling his team to advance. The ensuing skirmish was swift but intense. Energy blasts from the alien weapons illuminated the forest, contrasted by the bright flashes of human firepower. The humans, though outmatched in terms of technology, fought with a fierce determination that took the Euraxian hunters by surprise. Thompson, ducking behind cover, yelled to his comrades, "Hold your positions! We need to contain their advance and figure out what we're dealing with." Zyler's frustration grew. The humans were holding their own, using their environment to their advantage. "These creatures are more resilient than anticipated," he growled, his frustration evident. The battle raged on, each side adapting quickly. The aliens' advanced technology struggled against the humans' guerrilla tactics. Zyler's eyes widened as one of his hunters was knocked out by an unexpected trap, a hidden mine set by the humans. "Retreat and regroup," Zyler ordered, his voice tinged with anger. "We underestimated them." As the hunters fell back, the forest echoed with the sounds of combat and the crackling of burning debris. The convoy had pushed the aliens back, but their victory was incomplete. The humans had shown their mettle, and Zyler's initial confidence was replaced with a growing respect for the species he had so underestimated. Back at their ship, Zyler reviewed the data with his team, his mandibles clicking in frustration. "We've miscalculated. Earth's defenders are more formidable than we believed. We must adapt our strategy." The Euraxian hunters, battered but not defeated, prepared for the next phase of their mission. The hunt had become a challenge, and the thrill of overcoming this unforeseen adversary ignited a fierce determination within them. The initial shock had passed, and now, the real hunt was about to begin. As the ship's engines roared to life once more, the forest slowly settled back into its eerie calm, unaware of the clash of titans that had just begun. The forest had fallen silent in the aftermath of the skirmish. A pall of smoke hung in the air, mingling with the earthy scent of burning leaves. Captain Zyler surveyed the damaged area from the safety of the ship's hull. The Euraxian hunters, though regrouped, wore expressions of discontent. The humans had proven more formidable than anticipated, and the initial shock had morphed into a simmering frustration. "Report," Zyler demanded, his voice low and commanding. Lieutenant Cree, the ship's tactical expert, approached with a data pad. "Captain, our initial scan was accurate," Cree said, pointing to a display showing the battle's aftermath. "The humans are using their environment to their advantage. Their technology is rudimentary but highly effective when coupled with their tactical prowess." Zyler's eyes narrowed. "We need to reassess our approach. If they can adapt this quickly, we must do the same." A soft chime interrupted their conversation. The communication console flashed with a new transmission, a video feed from one of their scouts. The screen flickered to life, showing Sergeant Jake Thompson and his squad preparing for another engagement. "We've located their base," Thompson said, his voice steady. "It's heavily fortified but vulnerable from the north side. We'll need to launch a coordinated strike to break through." Zyler's mandibles clicked in thought. "They're planning a counteroffensive. We must disrupt their strategy before it gains momentum." The captain turned to his team. "Prepare for a full assault. We'll target their base from the north while creating diversions. Ensure all units are briefed on the updated plan." As the hunters prepared their gear, Zyler reviewed the tactical holograms projected across the ship's command center. He could see the intricate network of defenses the humans had established. "These defenses are impressive," he admitted. "But we will find their weaknesses." On the ground, Sergeant Thompson's squad moved with purpose. The men and women, equipped with both advanced and improvised weapons, navigated the dense forest. The low hum of their machinery blended with the natural sounds of the wilderness. Thompson, his face set with determination, relayed final orders to his team. "Stay sharp. We're about to hit their weak spot. If we can push through, we'll force them into a retreat." The squad approached the north side of the base, their progress slow but deliberate. They set up makeshift barricades and prepared for the impending assault. Each soldier's breath formed a mist in the crisp morning air, their eyes scanning the perimeter for signs of the alien attackers. Suddenly, a distant explosion shattered the silence. The sound of energy blasts and gunfire echoed through the trees. Zyler's attack had begun. "Move out!" Thompson ordered. The squad leapt into action, firing in bursts to cover their advance. They encountered immediate resistance as the aliens, having anticipated the assault, had set up defensive positions of their own. Zyler's plan was unfolding as intended. The Euraxian hunters advanced from multiple directions, creating chaos among the human defenders. Yet, the humans' response was swift. They adjusted their tactics on the fly, launching counterattacks that forced the aliens to adapt rapidly. Zyler observed the battlefield from a vantage point within the forest. The humans' resourcefulness was undeniable. His frustration was palpable, but so was his growing respect. "These creatures are a challenge," he conceded. "We must match their ingenuity with our own." The firefight intensified. Zyler's forces pressed forward, their advanced weaponry clashing against the human defenses. The battle was becoming a test of endurance and strategy, with neither side willing to yield. Zyler's hunters, though superior in technology, were struggling against the humans' tenacity and tactical flexibility. Amid the chaos, Thompson maneuvered his squad through the fray. "Keep pushing!" he shouted over the comms. "We're making progress!" As the battle wore on, the forest became a battleground of strategy and resilience. The clash of advanced alien technology and determined human ingenuity painted a vivid picture of conflict. Zyler, though frustrated, felt a growing sense of respect for his adversaries. Finally, as twilight approached, Zyler issued a tactical withdrawal. "Fall back and regroup," he ordered. "We've learned much today, and we will adapt." The Euraxian hunters retreated, their retreat covered by a final barrage of energy blasts. The forest settled into an uneasy quiet, the remnants of battle scattered across the landscape. The humans had held their ground, but the war was far from over. Zyler stood at the edge of the forest, his eyes fixed on the horizon. The initial skirmish had been a mere prelude to the larger conflict. The real hunt had only just begun. The twilight settled over the forest like a shroud, casting long shadows and painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. Captain Zyler's mood matched the somber colors. The retreat from the previous skirmish had been necessary, but the cost was starting to weigh heavily on his mind. His troops, though disciplined, bore the marks of battle, a visual reminder of the unexpected resilience of their adversaries. In the dimly lit command center of the Euraxian ship, Zyler and his team convened around a holographic display of the battlefield. Lieutenant Cree tapped on the control panel, bringing up detailed schematics of the human defenses and movement patterns. "Captain," Cree said, his voice measured but tense, "our latest scans indicate that the humans are consolidating their forces. They're preparing for a decisive counteroffensive. Their strategy is shifting from defensive to offensive." Zyler's eyes flickered over the data. "They're adapting faster than anticipated. We need to outmaneuver them before they can launch their assault." As Zyler issued orders to adjust their tactics, the screen blinked with an incoming transmission. It was a live feed from one of their recon drones. The image revealed Sergeant Jake Thompson, huddled with his squad in a makeshift command post. The humans were strategizing, their faces etched with determination. "Everyone, listen up!" Thompson's voice crackled through the static. "We've taken some hits, but we're not backing down. Their tactics are unpredictable, so we need to stay one step ahead. We'll hit their supply lines and force them into a corner." Zyler's mandibles clicked in contemplation. "They're not just defending anymore, they're striking back with purpose. We need to intensify our pressure to keep them off balance." With a new resolve, Zyler directed his team to implement a multi-pronged assault. His plan was to exploit the gaps in the human defenses, but the complexity of the task weighed on him. The Euraxian hunters, despite their advanced technology, were in unfamiliar territory. On the ground, the forest was alive with the buzz of activity. Thompson's squad moved stealthily through the underbrush, their focus sharpened by the gravity of their mission. The sound of distant explosions and energy blasts created a constant backdrop of tension. "Contact in 20 meters," whispered Thompson, his voice low. He gestured for his team to halt. "We've got to be ready. They'll be expecting us." The squad took up positions, their breathing steady despite the looming danger. As they advanced, they encountered a series of traps and ambushes set by the aliens, each more elaborate than the last. The humans' ingenuity was evident in their use of the environment, forcing the aliens to contend with obstacles at every turn. Meanwhile, Zyler's forces executed their assault with precision. The air crackled with the energy of battle, and the forest floor trembled with each explosion. Zyler's strategy to strike at the supply lines was working, but the human response was fierce. The unexpected resilience of the defenders was becoming a central theme of this conflict. In the midst of the chaos, Zyler's communicator buzzed with an urgent message. "Captain, we've detected a new energy signature. It's unlike anything we've encountered before." Zyler's eyes narrowed. "What is it?" "Unknown, but it's coming from a hidden facility deep within the forest. It might be powering their defenses or creating some form of countermeasure." Zyler's expression hardened. "Then that's our target. We need to eliminate this new threat before it alters the balance." Back in the forest, Thompson's squad had successfully neutralized several alien ambushes and was making headway towards their objective. The soldiers' determination was palpable, their movements fluid and synchronized. They had become an effective fighting unit, their previous uncertainty replaced with a newfound confidence. As they neared the hidden facility, the forest's tranquility was shattered by a series of blinding flashes. The aliens, aware of the approaching threat, had intensified their defense. Zyler's forces engaged the humans in a ferocious battle, their superior firepower clashing against the human ingenuity. The facility, a complex of alien machinery and energy conduits, stood as a critical juncture in the conflict. The stakes were high. If Thompson's squad could disable it, they would gain a significant advantage. If not, the humans would face even greater odds. As the chapter drew to a close, the battle raged on, both sides locked in a struggle for dominance. The turning point was imminent, and the outcome of the conflict hinged on the next moves of both the Euraxian hunters and their human adversaries. Xyler, watching from his vantage point, realized that the hunt had evolved into a game of strategy and adaptability. The humans had proven themselves formidable opponents, and the outcome of this engagement would shape the future of the conflict. The stakes were higher than ever, and the next chapter of the war was about to unfold. The forest had become a battlefield of shadows and smoke, where the air was thick with the acrid scent of burning ozone. The clash between human resilience and alien technology reached its zenith as dawn approached, painting the sky with streaks of red and gold. Captain Xyler and Sergeant Jake Thompson faced their respective challenges with unwavering resolve, knowing that the outcome of this battle would decide the fate of both sides. Xyler's command center was abuzz with activity. Holographic displays flickered with data as the remaining Euraxian forces assembled for a final push. The recent revelations about the hidden facility had shifted the strategy from a mere skirmish to a pivotal confrontation. The stakes were higher than ever, and the need for precision was paramount. "Captain, we've identified the critical points of the facility's defenses," Lieutenant Cree reported, his tone urgent. "If we strike these locations, we can cripple their operations and turn the tide in our favor." Xyler's gaze was steely. "Prepare the assault teams. We'll move in under the cover of the upcoming offensive. This is our chance to end this conflict on our terms." Meanwhile, in the heart of the forest, Sergeant Thompson's squad maneuvered through the dense undergrowth, their goal clearly in sight. The hidden facility loomed ahead, its alien architecture a stark contrast against the natural landscape. The soldiers, battle-worn but resolute, advanced with calculated precision. "All right, team," Thompson said, his voice steady despite the tension. "We've made it this far, but this is where it counts. We hit the facility, disable the power sources, and push through. Let's show them what we're made of." As Thompson's squad neared the facility, they encountered the Euraxian forces, who had anticipated their approach. The resulting clash was immediate and fierce. Energy blasts streaked through the air, and the forest floor quaked with each explosion. The humans, despite their tactical advantage, faced a relentless onslaught from the alien attackers. In the thick of the chaos, Thompson directed his squad with precision. "Cover the flanks. We need to keep them off our backs while we reach those power conduits." The soldiers responded with practiced efficiency, laying down suppressive fire and pushing forward through the alien defenses. The facility, a complex network of energy conduits and control systems, was heavily guarded. The team fought their way to the central control room, where the alien machinery pulsed with a menacing glow. Simultaneously, Xyler's forces engaged the remaining human defenders in a coordinated assault. The air was filled with the sounds of battle, shouts of command, the whine of energy weapons, and the crackle of explosions. The Euraxian captain directed his troops with strategic precision, aiming to break through the human defenses and reach the facility. As the battle reached its climax, Thompson and his squad managed to breach the control room. The sight that greeted them was both daunting and promising. Alien machinery hummed and flickered, its intricate design suggesting a complex and powerful system. "Plant the charges!" Thompson ordered, his voice carrying over the din of the battle. "We need to disable this facility and get out of here." The soldiers moved quickly, setting explosive charges on critical components. The tension was palpable as they worked under the constant threat of alien attack. Each second felt like an eternity, their focus narrowing to the task at hand. Outside, Xyler's forces pushed hard against the human defenders. The battle was nearing its end, but the real turning point was the explosion within the facility. As the charges detonated, a blinding flash of light illuminated the forest, followed by a deep, resonant rumble. The facility's power grid was disrupted, sending shockwaves through the alien forces. Xyler watched the explosion from a distance, his expression a mix of frustration and grudging admiration. The humans had executed their plan with skill and tenacity. His own forces were now vulnerable, their advantage slipping away. "Withdraw!" Xyler commanded, signaling a retreat. "We've underestimated our opponents." This battle is lost, but the war is far from over. The Uraxian hunters began to pull back, their tactical retreat covered by a final barrage of energy fire. The forest settled into a tense silence, the echoes of battle fading as both sides regrouped. Thompson's squad emerged from the wreckage, their faces smudged with dirt and exhaustion. The facility was in ruins, but the victory came at a cost. The squad members, though victorious, bore the marks of their fierce struggle. "We did it," Thompson said, his voice hoarse but triumphant. "We've pushed them back, at least for now." As the sun rose over the battlefield, it illuminated the battered landscape, a testament to the ferocity of the conflict. Zyler, though retreating, knew that the encounter had shifted the balance. The humans had proven their mettle, and the Uraxian hunters would need to adapt once more. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. I promise you, nothing will happen to your finger.